Hey, what's up my units? I am back here with another video, and before I even go on to making any excuses for James Harden, I just want y'all to know I have high regards for James Harden. I really think he's a top 5 shooting guard of all time, but I would not excuse his efforts in that game, especially in the second half. He only shot 2 shots. He's playing very lackadaisical on defense, and he was turning over the ball. In this video, I will make the case that he wasn't the only reason why this whole team has failed, and we just got to remember when we're talking about James Harden that he had that hamstring injury that he's been dealing with this whole year. And you know, since this is hamstring injury, we've seen this, that he don't have any explosiveness, or it really did affect this basketball player. So let's start this video, and remember to please like and subscribe and share it. That will actually help me in the algorithm with my videos, and it helped me grow my channel. I'm trying to hit 500. All right, and let's get on to this video. By the way, I got a new intro, so let's go. So I was saying in my intro, I'm not making any excuse for Harden. As James Harden tenure with the Sixers, he hasn't attempted over 20 shots ever on that team. And the main reason he was on that team was to help open out the floor, help Joel Embiid with his playmaking and shoot well on the floor. This duo was really regarded as the next Shaq and Kobe, and we just never seen that. Those first 4 games that actually seemed like it was a playmaking Kobe and Shaq, except for, you know, Kobe who didn't really attempt a lot of shots. But I'm here to tell you that James Harden wasn't the problem. I would say that your team was really doomed from the start. So if I really want to start off from anything, and I have multiple things to say, I would say the big glaring fact is Tobias Harris. Now, I'm not calling Tobias Harris a bad player or anything. I feel like he's a phenomenal player. He's very underrated. It's just how much he's getting paid. He made $36 million this year, and next year he's going to make $37. And we see in games he was supposed to step up, and he didn't. Those first 2 games of the Heat series, he actually did step up, and I love that from him. And it was a good tandem between him and James Harden. And as much I'm going to credit those Heat defense for those 2 games, Tobias Harris did show up in both of those games, but it was just that Joel Embiid wasn't there, and he had to take a lot of shots. So I mean, he's averaging 20 those 2 games. Then when Joel Embiid came back, he just can never get over that 20-point hump. Now, if you're wondering why I'm saying that, and it sounds like I'm really contradicting myself and saying that he's a good player, then, you know, he's playing bad with his best player on the court. I'm just saying you're getting paid that much money and just can't do what you're being paid you're supposed to do. But now his contract is very highly overpaid, and since that, you know, the trio of James Harden, Joel Embiid, and him, it combined for near $100 million. And there's not much as depth you can buy when most of your money is getting paid into a trio like that. But, you know, there's a lot of bench players who wouldn't, I mean, they would get minutes, but they wouldn't get a lot of minutes on other teams. But they really did mess up on the depth when they traded for James Harden. They traded away Andre Drummond. I feel like Andre Drummond would have been a good complement piece still on this team, because they already knew Joel Embiid was going to be injured. He's infamous for injuries. But it was really just missing a backup center. Unfortunately, the Nuggets did sign DeMarcus Cousins on the day that the 76ers did trade for James Harden. So, I mean, that's just the sad part. There's literally nothing you can do about that. And even if there was like a whole bunch of players they could have really signed over DeAndre Jordan. They could have got Cody Zeller. They could have got Ennis Freedom. They could have got Taco Fall. And I really feel like Ennis and Cody is a way better player than DeAndre Jordan. But I feel like they only got DeAndre Jordan because he was just a safer option. Because he knows how James Harden play. He's good offensively with James Harden. And they already had chemistry before. And they played before. But still, the 76ers always have prior knowledge of Joel Embiid always getting injured every playoffs. Like, this is just keep happening, but they didn't prepare for this. And this is my final reason where the 76ers really truly failed. I really feel like Doc Rivers failed them. And I'm not saying as a coach, because some people really would say that the 76ers just like they had a bad coach. I can't really say that he was a bad coach because they were just not hitting their shots. And that's really coming from the depth. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have a lot of depth. You get better players who can hit their shots, but they wasn't just hitting their shots. But I'm saying his decision to keep Joel Embiid in that damn game. But his decision to keep Joel Embiid on the court really did hurt him in the big time, because his major injury could have been really avoided. Joel wouldn't have to miss a week straight of games and practice, and they really did say that he missed practice because he can't shoot the ball. He's that much injured. And Doc Rivers came out and said that he really support his own decisions of keeping him in.
Coach, I have a question a lot of people have this question. 4 minutes left. 29-point game.
Well, it wasn't 4 minutes left and 29 points. 21. He scored the bucket to make it 29. And in the playoffs, just so everyone knows, so we cannot talk about blame and talk about winning this next series. I'm about to answer that, all right? Because everyone was in. You know, the other team had all their guys in too. The last 5 minutes of the game, we made the run the last minute of that game. Right before that, that's when we got up 29. After Joel made the shot and did the airplane, if you watch the game, I turned and said, I'm calling a timeout on the next possession. So, not upset that he was in. You can make that a big deal if you want, but just go and look at every team and every game, and their guys are in until about the 4th 3-minute mark. That's what it is.
That's their last game.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're in.
I've done this a long time. Just go back and look at every game's last game, and I guarantee you both teams have their guys in at that point. We had just made the run to put it up to 29.
Do you ever say to yourself,
yeah, all the time. On plays. I drew up the greatest play in the world, and the guy misses the shot. And I said, darn it, I wish I had someone else shoot that. Unfortunately, in coaching, you can't wait 24 hours to make a decision.
And this almost happened to James Harden, but I guess you can give him a pass because there's only 10 minutes left in the clock. And that really did save James Harden. But when Joel Embiid finally came back, they did they did even out the series. I'm not saying that the 76ers would have won. I'm just saying that they could have probably went to 7. The only defense I could really say in the Doc Rivers, which I really agree on, is that these players cannot just hit their shots, and that's really it. That's all I really think that's really happened to the 76ers. There's just a lot of chemistry issues. It's just nobody hitting their shots. Front office moves. It's just there's just doom from the start, really. You can't just blame James Harden. James Harden, he did the best he could do because he himself was going through an injury. Had constant hamstring injuries. He'd been trying to rehab it. He'd just been trying. I'm not trying to say James Harden should not be faulted at all, but I'm saying that he shouldn't be just getting all the blame. But all right, guys, thank you for watching my video and have a nice day. Peace. And also, this is a new inning too, so please subscribe.